So for the rec, the proposition is going to be God exists. It's going to be me versus CJ. I'm going to be taking the affirmative. CJ is going to be taking the negation. We take God
what do
to
you
be.
define? Wait, oh my bad. You can continue, bro.
Yeah, well, since I don't feel like leaking the second stage, we're just going to take God to be a necessary being. Full stop. That's fine.
When you define a necessary being just that the reference fixed across all possible worlds.
Yeah, and the reference is
What's your
eternal.
count? And the reference eternal. Okay, and then
Mhm.
just to be clear, and then do you define possible, like, what's your count of possible worlds here? Just some sort of like logical, coherent, I guess,
Yeah,
assignment of
we're
like.
using logical modality. It just means that the proposition doesn't output as false under at least one evaluation.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Yeah, and then I put the argument in the
it
chat.
doesn't.
Tell me what premise to reject.
And then contingent just means that it's gonna fail to exist, possibly, or it could fail to
Yeah, the
exist.
proposition X exists isn't necessarily true, right? There's at least
Yeah.
one possible
Okay.
world where the reference
Wait.
isn't.
When you say necessary truth, then are you invoking the like equivalence you already established? Because that seems weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the same.
I think you
It's
just
just to say that it's
that's
not
not
necessary,
yeah, but then
right?
by
Just to
necessary
say
then
that
obviously
it
applies
fails. Look, it's just to say that it fails to exist in at least one possible world.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then if no necessary thing is possible, the contingent totality is possible, then we cannot possibly have the possible contingent totality can have an external explanation. And then and then your count of contingent just means that could fail to exist.
Mhm.
Just can
And the
justify P1.
explanations are the kind of thing. Wait, what do you want?
Justify P1.
Yeah, so explanations are going to be the kinds of things that are understood as counterfactual dependence, which just says that if X doesn't obtain, Y doesn't obtain. And external explanations are the kind of explanations where the explanans and the explanandum aren't of the same class.
Wait, define explanandum and explanand.
Yeah, thing being explained and thing doing the explaining, right?
Okay,
So
so then you're saying that the thing doing the explaining. Wait, like just fill those in, bro.
yeah, the thing doing the explaining in this case, which would be the contingent thing, or the thing being explained, which is the contingent thing, and the thing doing the explaining aren't of the same class, right? And obviously, there's a dichotomy between contingent and necessary, such that
Yo, I don't think
there
your
isn't.
analytics. Why is there not, like, let's say, some sort of, I guess, third sort of explanation, or I guess some sort of third possible way that we can have something that's fixed across all possible worlds yet not eternal?
Yeah, under well, being necessary entails that you're eternal because you exist in all moments of time. Given that for any way the world could have been, right, you would exist in that moment.
All
So
right,
being necessary already
So then,
entails that you're eternal, first of all. But secondly,
okay, then,
obviously there's a dichotomy between contingent and necessary given law of excluded middle.
so then, you couldn't possibly have an external explanation, and then sort of the commonly you're saying that couldn't be like explained by anything else that's not contingent.
Externally.
I mean, yeah,
No, we're
externally because of the
Mhm.
dichotomy.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then premise two is saying that, well, the contingent totality is possible, and this possible contingent totality could possibly have some external explanation. So given that,
What's the argument for that?
but yeah, you could just
What's the argument that we can have some sort of possibly necessary being?
yeah, you can just take some truth table, conjunctive truth table with postulates P and Q, P it being a contingent totality as possible, and then postulate Q is going to be this is contingent totality has an external explanation, and then obviously it doesn't output as false under all evaluations relative to like classical logic, and then in that case you
No,
just
why
get
would it not? That's what I'm asking. Why? That's what I'm asking. Justify
yeah, I can show you the truth table if you want.
the truth table, bro. I don't care for your assignments upon the truth table. I obviously understand where it would fail, but I'm asking you to justify why it would.
Why what one?
Why it would? Like why?
You
Like it wouldn't
understand that if
fail?
you have a conjunctive truth table and the propositions output as true under at least one evaluation, then that's all. That just means that it's
That's why
possible.
I'm asking. Why under one, I guess, evaluation would it come out true? Like why does the concept
Yeah,
all the
because
possible like why is it
because
even
we're
internally
evaluating
coherent?
all the possible truth values of the postulates.
I'm asking why is it even
Right?
internally coherent, bro?
Why is internally coherent?
Why like having a possibly necessary thing is even internally coherent? Because if it fails to be internally
Yeah,
coherent, then
because
any
of the
sort of
truth
evaluation
table,
is come out.
such that
Because and then wait, listen, if it's internally incoherent, then any sort of assignments upon truth value would be false.
you don't wait.
If
You
in
don't
and
think
of
a
itself
possible
if
necessary
in and
thing
of
is?
itself is self-contradictory, obviously it cannot possibly turn out true. Like that's what I'm asking
Oh,
you
what would be
justify.
the P and not P then?
That's what I'm asking you justify. Like that's
I can
what
just
I'm
take
asking.
like a nocium. I can just take like a nocium inference in this
What's gonna be
case.
define OCM inference?
Yeah, it's just to say that under any evaluation that I've seen of a possibly necessary thing, right? I haven't seen it entail any contradiction, so I think
What's gonna
that warrants the belief in saying that there
justify
isn't one.
justify this with an OCM inference then?
Well, no-stem inferences are understood as those type of inferences. If you're just rejecting those, that's fine, but I don't understand why it would be my burden to give you a contradiction or to say
All
that
right, so
to
wait,
show you
wait,
how it doesn't
wait.
entail a transformation.
That functionally begs the question.
What I have the question back.
Okay, so then when you say, okay, no seam instances aren't the type of things, I mean, even granted that if we don't accept them, then you were to say that, like, I don't see why I have to postulate to say P and not Q, but I mean, to say that there is some sort of contradiction, but then to say that your justification upon that, or why you believe that, or when I asked you to justify that, was to invoke this sort of no seam inference.
Do you think that, like, when we put these propositions into syntax, right, and we have them in the truth table, right, do you think that if they don't output as false under at least one evaluation, then they're possible?
Okay, bro, when you say,
Yes
okay,
or
when
no
you
on
say
that?
that when you say that, okay, when you say that you can evoke it into some sort of atomic symbol and then assign it some sort of like proposition, like what does that address with my position at all, bro?
Wait, I just want a yes or no on that point because I have
This
the
is
truth
this is
table.
index of relevance, bro. This is index of
Yeah,
relevance.
it's relevant because if you hold the view that it's possible, then I can just show you the truth table, right? And then we can just get this out the way. But I mean, we don't have to make this difficult. So can you answer yes or no, please?
Oh, okay. When we define P, like when we define some sort of variable or applied variable, like let's say P, if within this definition or within the sort of, I guess, predicate relation that's expressing there is self-contradictory such that it postulates P and not P, then obviously when we can't coherently assign it like some sort of atomic variable and then assign some truth table, or I mean not truth table, truth evaluation there, and expect it to be coherent and match with the semantics used there.
Well, you can just say that if this were to happen, any synthetic facts that would be entailed wouldn't result in anything that's going to be contradictory, and that would be fine, right? But regardless, what I'm not understanding, what I'm not understanding is um, why you're not answering the question that I'm
Did you
asking.
not, bro? We can conclude here, bro, if you want, bro. I mean, sorry, no, I'm not trying to go on.
So you're refusing to answer my question.
No, it just didn't answer my question at all, bro.
Yeah, I did. I answered. I said it's going to be internally coherent because any synthetic facts entailed if this event were to happen wouldn't be
All
contradictory.
right, bro. We can
Well, we can
definitely just.
conclude here. It's
All right,
fine.
bro. Give you a conclusion.
Wow, W Cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for my conclusion, I would just say that my opponent, failed to answer my questions. He didn't really give like a solid critique to the argument. I didn't really hear any premise being rejected in there either. But yeah, I include.
All right, and then okay, so my points that I just one, I brought up. Okay, so why do we take this to even be the case that it can be internally incoherent? And I provided that if it's internally incoherent or self-contradictory within itself, then obviously we can't assign this sort of propositional sort of variable or atomic variable and then expect it upon its valuation, like whatever that turns out to be, to match the semantics used or to match the reality used within the symbols there. And then his justification upon or why, or when I like interrogated him upon, okay, why do you think that is going to be the case? He was just dismissed, bro. It was really just dismissed, bro. Like what he said did not check my position, bro, and that's all I have to say for bro.